Japanese culture is very diverse. There are many customs, traditions, and etiquette rules to create social bonding between people. Some of the interesting traditions that surprise foreigners are taking off shoes when entering someone's house, wearing a mask when sick, not shaking hands and not hugging when meeting with loved ones. Making the slurping sound when eating noodles. Symbolically washing hands when entering a shrine. Wearing slippers when using the restroom. Decorate one's house with dolls for the annual Girls' Day and decorate the house with the samurai figure for the annual Boys' Day. Throwing beans at people who dressed as demons during the Setsubin festival. Eating a special meal called osechi during the New Year's Day. Bathing in the evening rather than in the morning. Participating in the firework festivals or Bon Odori festivals during the summer by wearing a yukta. Some basics of Japanese culture. Japanese people always display modesty and humility. People often bow to convey the message, "I am not above you. I respect you." Bowing longer with a higher degree of angle means more respect. Additionally, Japanese people have two religions at the same time. They are both Buddhist and Shintoist. When a Japanese baby is born, the ceremony is held in the Shinto shrine, and when someone dies, the ceremony takes place in a Buddhist temple. Lastly, in Japan, people are obsessed with hygiene. They take off their shoes when entering someone's house and take a bath almost every day. Many foreigners are surprised that there are no trash cans in public areas, but everywhere is still clean. Festivals in Japanese culture. There are relatively a higher number of festivals in Japan compared to other countries because Japanese religions are related to celebrating the harvest seasons and seasonal changes. Each of the 47 Japanese prefectures has a different festival which usually takes place in the summer. Locals usually participate in these festivals by wearing a yukta and sandals. The most famous Japanese festivals are Giant Festival in Kyoto, the largest parade in Japan which started in the 800s when there was an epidemic similar to the coronavirus. Awa Odori Festival in Tokushima, a dance festival held during the Obon Week, the week when the spirits of the deceased are believed to visit the world. Nebuta Festival in Aomori, a festival dedicated to ancient warriors in northern Japan. Holidays and celebrations in Japanese culture. If you look at the Japanese calendar, you would notice that there is a major cultural celebration almost every month. Japanese people like celebrating seasonal changes to show their appreciation of new beginnings. The three most important celebrations in Japan are 1. The New Year's Day. Japanese people visit a shrine after the midnight on 31st December to make a wish. 2. Cherry blossom celebrations in April. It is a custom to have a picnic under the cherry trees. 3. The Obon holiday in August. Japanese people visit their hometown to commemorate the spirits of those who passed away. Japan has a beautiful culture where hard work, respect to the elderly, and politeness are some of the most important things in life. But after WW2 some new laws were enacted and there are now differences between old traditions and new traditions. Etiquette in Japanese culture. Since Japanese people believe individuals are less important than the group, everyone strictly follows the rules of the etiquette. Some of the most common etiquette social faux pas foreigners make in Japan are speaking on the phone while riding a train, not returning a personal favor by gifting a box of sweets, eating something while walking or eating something on the train, taking or giving something by only using one hand, Showing up for a meeting just in time, people are supposed to come to meetings 5 to 10 minutes earlier, not at the exact beginning time. Passing food to someone by using chopsticks, this act is a reminder of funerals. Not taking off shoes when entering someone's house. Writing someone's name in red ink. Giving white or yellow chrysanthemum flowers to someone who is sick, this act is a reminder of funerals. Not showering before entering a hot spring. You can find out hundreds of Japanese customs and the rules of the etiquette here. Food in Japanese culture. The staple food in Japan is rice, not bread. In the past, the tax was collected as rice and samurai's salary was paid in rice. Japanese people believe rice is healthier than wheat, which has more carbs and is more difficult to digest. Up until the 19th century, the Japanese rarely ate meat because of Buddhism, which bans eating animals. For the same reason, they also did not consume dairy. That is why some Japanese tend to be lactose intolerant. Fresh sushi is the most popular food throughout Japan, even though it used to be the cheap fast food for workers in the 1800s. Nowadays, a typical Japanese breakfast consists of fried fish and miso soup, while a typical lunch is ramen noodles or rice ball with deep fried meat. Clothing in Japanese culture, kimono. Traditionally, Japanese people wear a one-piece garment called kimono, which emerged during the Heian period, 794 to 1185. Kimono is made out of silk and each motif has a meaning. Cranes represent longevity, pine trees represent the new year, the chrysanthemum flower represents the imperial family. The summer kimono is called yukta and the wedding kimono is called uchikake. Kimonos usually have long sleeves for wine to pass through and cool down the body. While children wear kimono with bright colors and flower designs, the elderly wear simple kimonos with simple motifs. Nowadays, Japanese people wear Western clothes at work and school but prefer kimono for social occasion and ceremonies. Arts in Japanese culture. Japanese arts can be traced back to the indigenous populations who roamed the main island thousands of years ago. The pottery vessels made by the Jomon 12,000 years ago are considered as the oldest in the world. Later, the Japanese arts were influenced by Buddhism and Chinese culture. The earliest forms of Buddhist statues and monochrome paintings at temples show resemblance to the Chinese arts. However, many unique forms of art, such as ikebana, ukiyo-e and kabuki, started emerging when the influence of China started diminishing after the rise of the samurai class in the 10th century. Aesthetics in Japanese culture. Japanese arts were influenced by Zen Buddhism, where minimalism, modesty, and simplicity are very important. The perception of beauty is different from the ideal beauty concept in the West. Japanese artisans believe things that are old, asymmetrical, and natural are more aesthetically appealing than perfectly symmetrical new objects. Silence, open space, elegant simplicity, and rustic patina are always visible in all aspects of Japanese arts. Values in Japanese culture. Communication in Japanese culture.